If you're after a set of wireless earbuds for general use but don't want to break the bank while doing so, then this could be ideal, the Truefree O1. The Truefree O1 wireless earbuds actually carry some impressive specs, on paper at least. High-res audio support through the LDAC codec, multi-point connectivity, 16.2mm dynamic drivers, even up to 45 hours playtime with the included case. All very relevant for buyers of a sports bud and make for a pretty decent package considering the budget price point. The units come complete within this charging case too, and when you're trying to compromise between battery life and portability, when the former wins, this is what you get, a rather large result. It's a bit of a monster when compared alongside an AirPods case for instance, although saying that, the weight isn't too much of an issue thankfully, but even so, it's still not something you'll want to keep in your pocket while working out, it's just way too bulky. The case then is a grey plastic affair with a lip at the front and a decent sized hinge at the back. There's no wireless charging, it's USB-C only, which is located at the rear, and with a cable included within the package of course. Flip open the case and you'll find some battery status LEDs across the front, providing an indication of the battery life remaining within the charging case itself. There's also a pairing and reset button almost hidden in the middle too. I did find the orientation does take a little getting used to however. The left bud is on the left and the right bud is on the right of course, but they are in a vertical rather than horizontal position, probably to make the case a little smaller, but this means you have to kinda twist sideways to put them in your ears, and again when you want to put them back. Not a huge issue to be fair, while putting them back is easy thanks to the built-in magnets, docking each earbud straight into place. Moving on to the earbuds themselves then, mainly plastic in construction, we have a part shiny finish on the outside to make sweat drip off a little easier. Each one weighs just 11 grams, which sounds a lot, but is actually fairly standard, even on the lighter side for products of this kind. On one end we have this bean-shaped control unit with the Truefree logo on and a small LED, which is visible but not super bright, and is only lit when nothing is playing, or when they are in pairing mode, where rather than white it flashes blue and red. Otherwise we have a matte, softer finish to the bits that make direct contact with your skin. The driver itself angles towards your ear canal a little, and there's some malleability to the ear hooks, meaning if your ears are larger or smaller than average, you do have a little wiggle room. While they may not be the prettiest, they are rather comfortable. The typical use cases for buds of this style are predominantly around activities where you need to be able to hear your surroundings quickly without having to cycle through to transparency modes. Unlike something like the AirPods Pro for instance, open air designs have no seal, so you are in constant contact with the outside world, such as when being out on your bike and in some traffic for instance. In that regard, they work pretty well. With a pretty reliable Bluetooth 5.3 connection, like most open air designs, they do fall a little light on lower frequencies, and more flat across the mid-range until the upper mids. Truefree have tried to balance vocal delivery while trying to minimize sibilance, and for the most part it works. You have a bright sounding audio experience that is fairly clear, but lacks power and energy, especially with pop and techno, where kick drums can feel a bit thin and limp. The bass is more something you can hear than feel. There's a bit of weight by open air standards, but don't expect throbbing bass lines or anything like that. Also note the volume can be a little quiet when the surroundings get really noisy. I found myself mostly at 100% outdoors, which is going to have an impact on your battery life of course. Saying that, when it comes to open air designs like this, the overall sound is certainly good enough given the price. Note that we do have an accompanying app, providing the ability to change and tweak a whole host of settings, such as the ability to select presets, tweak the EQ, toggle gaming mode and multipoint, and impressively customize the touch controls. You can pretty much adjust every gesture, including tap and hold, so it's actually quite good in that regard and offers up a whole new way to customize and control the buds. Battery life is pretty decent too. You'll get around 9 hours depending on how you use them, with an additional 3.5 charge cycles from the actual case itself. There's no quick charge feature with the case, so it does need a solid 2 hours to fully recharge, but otherwise you'd easily get through a long weekend when using the complete kit. Granted, you're not getting a powerful dynamic sound as you would from some of the competition, but the Truefree O1 are super comfy, perform okay on calls, and have adequate battery life that extends to great with the case. All in all, this makes for a pretty decent kit for those on a budget. That's if you're in a position where you can carry the large case around, since it will need a fair bit of real estate in your pocket or even in your bag.